Let's go!
I'm just here so I won't get fined. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Anthony Richardson might be the quarterback I am building my team around out of anyone in the AFC. Outside of a few names. But there's a big discussion about CJ Stroud, and we're going to take a look at it from so many different angles, not only an actual real-life vantage point, but also a fantasy standpoint, because I saw probably the most ridiculous thing I have seen in quite some time. Now, this is a play that really stands out to me, okay? You're in 5 wide, it's 2nd and 9, and teams in this area of the field love to blitz so they can get you out of field goal range and force you to kick a long field goal or potentially 3rd and long, not go for it on 4th. So they end up bringing one extra guy that the defense can actually block. So they get a free rusher right here, and Anthony Richardson sees it immediately that he's got his quick, shifty slot receiver, Josh Downs, one-on-one versus a safety, and he is staring this right down the barrel of an untouched defender. And look at this. Good wide base and the arm talent to throw this football on target in the intermediate is really impressive, right where Downs could catch it and run with it after the fact. So, man, his processing is so freaking good, right? Especially for a guy that's not played a whole lot. Anthony Richardson has started, I think, maybe 15 to 20 total games dating back to high school. So he's still learning. And yeah, you do worry about the injury concerns, but he just gives you so much. There is nothing that this man can't do. And the arm strength. I mean, it is undoubtedly true that he has a top 5 arm in the NFL. It's up there with Josh Allen. It's up there with Mahomes, Herbert, whoever you want to mention. I mean, this is an absolute laser tight window RPO read. I would have loved to have seen if this was open. It's cut off, obviously. But look at where he actually fits this ball. Tight window right into the chest of Michael Pittman. And once again, he's still learning to play the game. And then something else I like. All right, so it's 2nd and 28. They just had a screen that was blown up. And guess what? They run another quick little RPO screen right here to Michael Pittman. I actually think this is just a screen all the way. And that's something else I really like about Anthony Richardson is Shane Steichen, his offensive head coach, is in it for the long haul. You know, if I'm comparing Anthony Richardson to someone like a CJ Stroud, yes, CJ Stroud's got great weapons. Yes, he's got a great coaching staff. But what if Bobby Slowick leaves? And I want you to see this throw right here on 3rd and 9. This is ridiculous stuff. So you see this corner has outside leverage on Pittman here. He's running an out. You've got to really trust your arm. And look at the anticipation here. Look at where Pittman is on this route, and look at where AR is. All right? And understanding on 3rd and 9, you don't have to get all the yards, right? You can get close and then go for it on 4th. Look at when he's actually deciding to rip this thing. That's really good anticipation right there to throw that out. If you throw it any bit later, that's getting batted down. And the arm strength, even with that corner having a leverage advantage there, that is really impressive stuff to make it a manageable 4th. And this right here, I think, is going to be my biggest concern for Anthony is because he's played just a few games, especially compared to your normal NFL starter, it's the down-to-down consistency. You know, this is open, right? You've got a really clean pocket to throw this football, and it's just a misfire, right? I don't know, maybe too much weight on this front leg that causes this ball to die. I don't know, but it's there, and that's got to get completed for a first down when you're down by 4 in the 4th quarter. So that's going to be the next step. Can he actually put it together for, and you can see he's like, I had that. Can he actually be as consistent as a CJ Stroud? And I understand Trevor Lawrence has had his ups and downs, but Trevor, of course, down to down, probably a more consistent quarterback. But the upside is there. There is, when it comes to range of outcomes, there is a world where Anthony Richardson is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. I truly do believe in his talent. The likelihood of that is really, really, really small. This is another instance where this ball needs to be there, all right? This honestly is a really good play call in this 3rd and 8. You just got to get this football out. They bring a blitz, and they actually stack this trips bunch right here. I love trips bunch when they're bringing a blitz because there's just a lot of traffic for the man coverage defender on down to get through here. So this is an easy pre-snap read to make right here to Downs. You just got to throw it. You see he hesitates and waits. You just got to rip it, and you'll see that he's just late on it. Takes an unnecessary, it wasn't really a hit, but he did get scraped there, and that should have been a completion. Should he still catch it? Maybe, but you do see those mistakes. All right, so we'll get to this INT, and it's ugly. I mean, there's really no other way around it, but in your first start, you're expecting at least one time that he's going to throw something stupid, and this definitely fits the mold. So the in right here, Travon Walker actually, bails out right here, and this corner sits back into this deep half, and it looks like this is some variation of smash, where this running back leaks out here, and your job is to read this corner. Okay, so Anthony sees that this corner is pressing down, so he is liking Mo Alley Cox, the tight end, on the out. So he's thinking that this corner is actually coming down here on the running back. That's not what he's doing. He's kind of baiting him into the throw. He opens his hips, and he's right there for this pick. And no amount of arm strength is getting that ball through there. I will say this is an interesting concept. You got your vertical clear out here. The spacing just isn't the best when your tight end and receiver are this close to each other. Right? You never really want this, okay? Obviously, the next step in your development is if you have a good pocket, and man, look at this. Goodness gracious. The right guard, that is just nasty. Bang. Okay? You have a good pocket here. You don't have to force it, right? You could step up. You actually got 2 people down on the ground right here. You could step up into this pocket right here, and you could see him drifting. You never really want to be drifting and fading unless there's pressure right in your face. Look at this pocket. Just step up, and look, if you step up, you will eventually find this dig over the middle, right to the backside. But as you can see, this was flooded with defenders right here, and that's just a really good defensive call and a weird offensive execution. But that's forcing the issue only down 3. You never need to throw it, even if the route concepts are kind of weird there. All right, we get to this 3rd and 1. My goodness gracious, this is really good stuff. Okay, now this is what I would always tell a right-handed quarterback. If the rusher here elects to cut to the inside or go to the inside, I want you to 1,000% of the time break this pocket, okay? Unless something is just wide open in the progression. So if he wants to spin to the inside, let's make them pay and beat this contain here to the outside. But this is really, really, really good stuff right here from Anthony Richardson on this 3rd and 1, right? He could have thrown this to the running back right here. He could have even tucked and ran it, but he knows he has another down to pick this up, so he keeps his eyes down the field. And look, this is, to me, the biggest difference between him and Jaden Daniels. Jaden is the overall, to me, better runner, the more explosive runner. But Richardson is better at keeping his eyes down the field and throwing on the run, right? And you'll see he keeps his eyes down the field and finds Michael Pittman here for a more explosive gain. All right, 4th and 5. You absolutely, positively got to have it. You're down by 10. And part of the success of this drive is the Jaguars playing softer because, well, they're up by 10. They just want to, seal this victory, okay? It doesn't look like from here there is anything open, okay? That's not there. You don't want to throw that. Is this covered right here to Pierce? Yeah, that's covered. Could he throw this right here, this check down? Maybe. But everything's just covered. You might as well tuck to see if you can get it. Maybe you should just throw this. But look at this athleticism. He is stopped dead to rights. He finds his way, squeezes through this pass rush. But look, he should be stopped. If you would have told me on 4th and 5, you're just looking at this still image, he's supposed to get crushed. Look at this. Bang. He stopped, right? Into game. But no, he keeps his feet, falls forward, and gets that first down. Now I'm curious, do you believe Anthony Richardson is better than CJ Stroud, who had one of the best rookie seasons we have ever seen from any quarterback? Before I tell you my thoughts, and I think it will ruffle a few feathers here, I do want to shout out our friends at Underdog Fantasy, okay? Look, Underdog Fantasy right now, you could draft Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud in the same round. They're actually getting selected around the same range, and I want to talk about both of these guys from a fantasy perspective. Sign up now with my promo code Carter. I honestly believe if he stays healthy, Anthony Richardson will finish as a QB1 in all of fantasy football this year. If I'm picking a fantasy quarterback, especially since Richardson is going in the 60s, at times actually around in the 50s, I'm selecting him every single time. And he's probably been my most selected quarterback, and I've done over 20 drafts, yes. And here he is, my guy Derek Stingley right here, keep it contained, and he takes it on in. This play, though, leads us into some concerns, okay? The injuries. All right, he took a hard hit right there. He was concussed, I believe, after this play, and he was out for the rest of the game. Durability is a concern with CJ Stroud and his injury history, right? A few games later, he had a season ender. This is one area where it just drives me crazy with Anthony, is the completion percentage. There were some ridiculously difficult throws you saw in that Jaguars game. There was also some ridiculous misses that you just have to be able to have if you're going to be a consistent quarterback in the NFL. And even though he didn't qualify because he didn't play enough snaps, his 59.5 completion percentage would have been third to last in all the NFL. Now, two of the guys he's ahead of are rookies, so rookies, tend to struggle in their first year. But you have got, and I mean got, to improve in that area. And the issue I have with that is he was second to last in the SEC his final year at Florida in completion percentage as well. That just got to get better. And some of that is just going to come down to repetition. Some of that's just going to come down to consistency and really putting in the work on your craft, right? Your footwork, your timing, your balance, your understanding of the offense. You see right here, they're down 14-0. You don't always want to be coming from behind in games, and obviously some of that's on the defense and the coaching staff. But that's where the big difference is. I just think CJ's a little bit more consistent, but I just can't get over this upside. And if you were just looking at their highlights, you would say you would want Anthony Richardson of the two. And that goes to show you in the AFC, how many quarterbacks am I taking over Anthony Richardson in the entire AFC? Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, and CJ. I think that's it. I think I'm taking Anthony Richardson over Trevor. I'm taking Anthony Richardson over Deshaun Watson. I don't think that's really controversial anymore. Anyone outside of that group in the AFC, I'm taking AR. But feel free to correct me down below. But man, I love what he has around him. Pittman, I think Downs will take a step forward as a slot receiver. I could see Brock Bowers as a potential landing spot for the Colts. Brian Thomas Jr. maybe. But man, dude, Michael Pittman, Shane Steichen, pretty decent pieces along that offensive line. Bro, the sky really is the limit as he becomes more experienced. So maybe I'm overrating him. Maybe he's really not that good at all, but we'll talk soon. That's the fun thing about this channel. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom. And tonight, and by the way, this game in the background ended up being an overtime game. Okay, I know it's crazy. So if you want me to do a full breakdown of this game, I will. Tonight, we are doing pork chops, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's finish out this play. Step up in the pocket. And look at this. Throwing on his run while he was losing his balance. My God. Threw it right on target for him to be able to run after the catch. Is that a defensive end on a tight end right there? I think so. Man, that's really, really, really impressive. Oh, Mo Alley got in. Oh, that's crazy. That's a good run after the catch. Let's freaking go.